Good morning, everybody. My name is Tommy. Welcome to the current MBA Candidates Q&A session. This is our second webinar in our webinar series for the graduate admissions cycle. We're excited to have you here, and we are starting exactly at 4 p.m. West African time and 11 p.m. EST, 8 a.m. PST. If you have friends, family members that you would love to join this conversation, please just forward the invite to them and just forward the invite directly to them so that they can join. Just so you know, this is going to be recorded. And if you're not fine with you being recorded, you might have to leave. But just letting you know that this is being recorded. So today we'll be taking you through just a little bit of the story behind Titanar. I know that some of you attended our last webinar and you already get the story. We'll be highlighting our successes, we'll be introducing our guests, and then we go deep into our current MBA Candidates Q&A session. Now, that's something that I want you guys to know now. If you have any specific questions you would love our guests to answer for you, please type your question in the chat box now, and we'll be answering those questions, right? You will even have opportunities to actually come off mute and ask some of our guests the question. So right now, if you have questions on the top of your head that you would like to ask, please make sure you type it in the chat box. This is going to be very, very interactive. And don't feel shy. There are no stupid questions. There are no stupid questions. Please go ahead to ask any questions that you think that any questions that you think would actually help you gain more clarity on your MBA application process, and anything at all, please go ahead to ask us. So if you're just joining our Titanar webinar for the first time, my name is Tomilola. I also go by the name of Anu. I presently work as a technical product manager at Microsoft, and I'm founder of Titanar Consulting. I started Titanar Consulting when I graduated from graduate school at Ohio State University in 2019. Titanar Consulting is about 3 years, about 3 years, 6 months old-ish. And I have been working in Microsoft for about 3 years and 4 months. I'm really very passionate about helping people achieve success, whether it be career-wise or education-wise, because I know how your life can literally change by having the right information and having the right coaching. And I always strive to make sure that people around me are successful and they also have the right information to be able to succeed, because at the end of the day, information is the equalizer. You will see a lot of very intelligent people, very, very smart people, and you wonder, why is it that they turned out this way? It's just because they don't have the right information. You see people making costly mistakes that cost them 5 years, 6 years. Some mistakes they're not even able to come back from, and that's because they have the lack of the right information. So Titanar Consulting is actually here to bridge that gap, and we'll keep evolving. So stay tuned and watch out for all of the amazing things that Titanar Consulting is going to be doing in the next couple of months and the next couple of years. If you would like to connect with me on LinkedIn, it's Tomilola Abiodun. Please make sure that you add a note so that I know that you're connecting from Titanar Consulting or you're connecting from a webinar that you've attended previously. So I already spoke to you guys about why we exist. Basically, we want to be that information plug that would connect young professionals and students around the world, right? To allow them be ready for their next career or academic acceleration opportunity, because there are a whole lot of opportunities right now, right? Especially people from Africa, there are a whole lot of opportunities, but you can't tap into the opportunities if you're not ready and if you're not prepared. And I said something in the last webinar that we had. Some of us, I mean, we've heard this a lot of times. We hear things like, oh, if this opportunity is for you, it won't pass you by. Well, the reality is that's not actually true. Your opportunities can pass you by a whole lot of times if you're not ready and you're not prepared to take hold of those opportunities. So there are people that would have been much better than they are right now. There are people that will have accelerated so high, but they had those opportunities and they let them pass them by, right? Some people, okay, some people also, they didn't even know when to identify the opportunities. And yes, while some of us are lucky that we have these opportunities twice, three times, four times, for some of us, we just have that one golden opportunity. So right now you have to take it like, I have this one golden opportunity. I need to be able to make the best of this one golden opportunity that I have. And that's why we are here, to ensure that if it's just one opportunity you have, you make the best of it. This is just a testimonial for a few schools that our clients have gotten admission offers at, and a few companies that our clients have gotten job offers at. If I did not really explain it so much at the beginning, Tetenar does graduate admissions coaching and also career coaching for graduate students and young professionals, because we know that it's not just about getting into school. For some people, they don't even want to get into school. They're just trying to learn their next big opportunity, their next big international opportunity. And we help you to actually get to that level, because we understand how challenging it can be navigating the entire landscape of how do I move my job from where it is right now to where I want to be in the next 2-3 years. And we are here to help you with that. We also help demystify the myths that come with, oh, you need to have a particular profile, you need to be in a particular way to actually get into certain schools are out of your reach, or some of the myths like, oh, if you don't attend certain schools, you will not get a job, right? We help demystify everything. Just like Good News has said, if you have any questions, please put your questions in the chat box. Now, did you know, which I shared the last time, we offer one-on-one MBA admissions coaching. We also offer career coaching, but for the purpose of this webinar, we are going to be talking only about our MBA admissions coaching. We are going to be having webinars that highlight the Masters in Business Analytics program, webinars that highlights career services program much later. But for the purpose of this particular webinar, it's going to be more on the MBA admissions coaching process. 80% of our clients last school actually got full rights to top MBA programs. That is really, really huge, right? And well, 100% of the clients that got into school actually got 50 to 100% scholarships. Then we have, which is not here, we have about 90% that actually got into school. Yeah, we have percentage of people that were not able to get into school. But from Tetenar Consulting, we continue to help them evolve and ensure that they try again the next cycle so that they can get into school. Now, the part that has MBA clients getting MBA internship interviews before starting school, that's also on our career services offering. So because we don't stop at just getting you into school, we need to make sure that you are successful when you get into your MBA program and land that dream job and that dream internship that you actually desire. Good. If you have any questions at all, I will want you to have questions. Don't be shy. Don't think your questions, there are no stupid questions. No question is stupid. Please type and ask all of your questions, and we're going to be here to answer all questions that you have. Please type and ask all of your questions. Your questions can range from asking questions about the MBA program, asking questions about our services, asking questions about what the MBA program actually entails. And when we have our guests today introduce themselves, you can ask questions about their school. You can ask any questions that you have. Please don't be shy, right? And one thing that I need to tell you is, if you're going to take advantage of the next career opportunity or the next academic opportunity that is available to you, you can't be shy. You have to be very, very bold. So don't think that, oh, we have 30 people on the call, maybe they're going to think that it's a stupid question. No, no question is stupid. Please go ahead and ask any question that you think is bothering you. And if we're not able to answer the question right now on the chat, we would schedule a call with you to go deeper into the question and answer. Now, I would like to introduce our panelists for today. I have Adejoke Adejumo and Good News Okafor. Adejoke Adejumo is an MBA candidate at Auburn University, Harvard College of Business, and Good News Okafor is an MBA candidate at Johns Hopkins University, Carew Business School. Both of them were actually they're actually Titanic clients for both admissions and career services, and they're doing amazing and they're doing really, really great. And I know that they are able to, their experience, their story, and their journey is able to resonate with some of the experiences that you might be having. So please feel free to ask Joke or Good News any questions. Before I go ahead to asking some of the questions that I already have written out, because I have some questions written out that a lot of you already indicated interest in asking, I would like Joke and Good News to actually introduce themselves. So Joke, can you tell us about yourself, your background? So, well, I know both of you are from Nigeria. You used to work, I know, Joke, you worked in Abuja. Good News, you worked in Lagos. Just give us like very quick run through about your career so far, what you used to do while you were in Nigeria, and yeah, and how you like what you're doing right now in Auburn. I mean, you're an MBA candidate. Just tell us briefly, like 2-3 minutes, your experience so far and your journey so far.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Thank you, Tommy. So my name is Adejoke Adejumo. Yes, I'm from Nigeria, just like Tommy mentioned. And before I came to the US for my MBA, I worked in the bank. So I have about almost a decade years of experience. Worked across 2 banks in Nigeria. And I got to the point where, okay, yes, what's next for me? And that's where I began my MBA journey. And yes, presently I'm in Auburn University in Alabama. And yes, it's been it's been intense, but fun at the same time. Yes.
Okay, awesome, great, nice. Good News, can you introduce yourself, please?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, good afternoon, good evening, still morning here. Yeah, my name is Good News. So prior to coming to my MBA, I was working as a regulatory and financial control analyst with Guarantee Trust Bank. So I met Anu, I think that should be around, I met Anu October 2021. And since then, everything has taken a different turn. I got a institution scholarship at John Hopkins University for my MBA. I resumed August this year. Yeah, it's a very interesting program. Yeah, no financial burden. And also for the career part, I've also followed our new processes and advice. I've also been able to secure an internship position with Amazon as a finance analyst 1 year before my resumption time. So actually, these are very, very great experiences that have positively impacted and transformed everything I've been doing. Like, it's just like a dream come true. Everything happening at the same time, because of, just like she said, lack of information. IG armed me with the information I needed and also aided me both career-wise, professionally, and also academic-wise. And all. Yeah, I did my own part of the job, and also Anu was very, very strategic, and the consulting services she offered actually really helped me to navigate my path. And yeah, now I'm in Baltimore, Maryland, pursuing my MBA. So yeah, that's it.
Nice, awesome.
Anu, sorry, can I answer these questions from the chat here or?
Yes, you can. So I will just be calling out the questions and then I will direct it to both of you. Yeah,
Okay.
yes. But congratulations, Good News on your offer from Amazon. It's really exciting. Like Tatiana Consulting is so proud of you. You're doing really amazing, and we cannot wait to have you in Seattle in the summer of next year.
Yeah.
So good. We have a few questions. Praise, thanks for organizing this event. My question is, if this isn't their first time applying for an MBA with funding, what would they say they did differently when they got it? Okay, so what Praise is trying to say from this question is, this is not the first, if this is not your first time of applying. Well, for both of them, to be honest, this is the first time Adejoke and Good News were applying for the MBA program, and they got funding for it. But I would I would answer that question based off of like other clients that I've worked with that did not get it that the first time, and they actually are applying again, already applied again, and they got into school. So one thing that I would say always made the difference is, yes, in as much as we are coaching you, we're giving all of the right information, we are setting you in the right path. Sometimes things happen, and maybe there are some things that were not really considered. So what we do is we do like introspect into what exactly went wrong in your application. So there are a lot of things that could raise flags, right? So some people had issues with maybe their undergraduate GPA that was not correctly explained. So if your undergraduate GPA is like significantly low, right, even though you had like a very good GRE or GMAT score, you should be able to kind of explain that. If you've had extended work experience, you need to be able to explain, oh, why am I not going for an executive MBA? Why am I going for a full-time MBA? Right? Because they need to understand. Because if you say, oh, you have this number of years of experience, the schools are looking like, oh, why are you not doing an executive MBA? To be honest, for international students, executive MBA isn't really the path for you, except if you are actually like an executive in Nigeria, you want to remain in Nigeria, right? But if you are thinking through, well, I want to kind of accelerate my career, take up other opportunities outside the country, a full-time MBA would be the best path for you. So you need to be able to explain that. For some people, they didn't really do well in their interviews. So it's more of, yeah, we know that every other part of your application was good, but your interview wasn't good. How exactly do we put in more effort this time to make sure that you actually have like a stellar interview? And that's based off of practicing. And then finally, if you're reapplying to the program, you need to be able to explain to the schools what you have done to prepare yourself to be successful, right, in the last 1 year, because the schools know that, okay, you didn't get admitted this year. If you're going to be admitted, you didn't get admitted last year, rather. If you're going to be admitted this year, what have you done differently? Have you taken up more volunteer opportunities? Did you rewrite your test score? Did you rewrite your test, rather? Did you take up a new job? Has your goals changed? If your goals have changed, why have they changed? Why have they evolved? So it's a lot about you doing like introspective thinking, and we also helping you with that, and you are applying in the first round, right? So there's nothing as good as you applying in the first round, especially if you're reapplying again, because sometimes people did not get admitted, not because the application wasn't good, it was just because they applied in like the last round, the third and the fourth round, and the class was already full, right? So it would be great for you to kind of apply in the first round this time if that was the challenge that you had the last time. So okay. Praise, is that clear enough?
Yes, it is. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So Priscilla is asking a question. Priscilla is a chartered accountant and she has 2 years of experience post NYSC. Now, what I always say is it's us that we think that NYSC is not relevant experience. NYSC is relevant experience. So I tell a lot of people that are presently doing their NYSC, and for people that are not from Nigeria, NYSC is a mandatory government. It's a mandatory government 1 year like volunteering experience. I wouldn't really call it volunteering experience. I mean, the goal is the government wants you to experience other cultures outside of your home state, right? And people always get to be posted to like different parts of the country. So it's like cheap labor, to be honest, for a lot of those companies. So I always tell people that are doing that program to take the program seriously, like it's a full-time job, because it's actually relevant experience for you, right? So for me, I wouldn't say you have 2 years. I will actually say you have 3, except if you did nothing in the NYSC. Some people are posted to like local government areas and they're not able to do anything. That's an opportunity for you to seek, like look for, it might be part-time, just look for something else to do, because that is very integral. If you check your peers in other countries, they start working immediately after they graduate, and NYSC is that opportunity for you to start working immediately after you graduate. So you need to take it really seriously. So she's presently working as an account officer, and she wants to ask if it's advisable to pursue an MBA now, and if it's possible for her to get a full ride. Joke or good news? Who wants to take that question?
Okay. I'll go first. So okay. Yes, the answer is yes, you can actually go for your MBA now. Funny thing is, presently in the class, we have persons that just finished their undergrad and, they got into the MBA. So it's not a function of how many years experience you have. Yes, the years of experience actually helps in some cases, in some things, but yes, it doesn't stop you from going, for pursue your MBA. So the answer is yes, you can actually go on and apply for your MBA.
So to add to what Joke just said, right? So that, because I always say this so that it's not confusing. So the people Joke were talking about that are in the program that they just finished are mostly Americans. So once you get into your MBA program, you see a lot of domestic students, Americans. Some of them have 1 year experience. Some of them have 0, actually. They just finished. So they are BSMBAs. So that program, the BSMBA is actually like a track for some of the undergrads. But what is really very interesting is for an international student, the years of experience that I think you need, like that would be pivotal for you, is 3. And the 3 years is 3 years upon resumption. So if you are resuming in 2023 and you have 2 right now, you are actually good, because in 2023 you will have 3. The reason why I keep it at 3 is for a lot of the companies that take international students for jobs, they always want you to have at least 3 years of experience. I mean, not all companies take international students. We know that. Not all companies take international students. So for those top companies that take international students, they want you to have at least 3 years of experience, right? But I see people have extended work experience. There's nothing wrong in having extended work experience. When I came to the MBA program, I'd worked in a bank for a few months, and I had worked at PwC for 3 years and 10 months. So I was actually in the right class range. I was just a little bit below my class range, but I had a lot of people that were way above the class range, and I had people that were way below the class range. And one thing that I know is that sweet spot of 3 years, 4 years is the best for you. If you go beyond that, there's nothing wrong. It's just that you're leaving money on the table. Because once you get a job, right, and once you get an MBA job, you are on the same level as the person that has 3 or 4 years experience, even if you have 10 years of experience. So it's more like that time that you have spent is money, like you left the money on the table, which is not a bad thing. I mean, a lot of us have different, we think about things differently. We are aware of things much differently. And international students, for example, we have much extended work experience. So just so that you know, 3 years is really great. But it's not just about the years of experience that you have, it's the type of experience that you have, right? So what have you been doing in that experience, right? How do you ensure that you actually are able to make an impact, right, in the role that you are in? So it's very, 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 very important. So it's more like, how do we balance it? And I'm sure from what I just said and from what you heard from Joke, some people might be like, well, I have a lot of experience. Are they going to take me in the schools? Yes, there are some schools that are very big on very small, very, very limited years of experience. They don't want you to be too old, right? But there are a whole lot of schools that would not care if you have 10 or 11 or 12 years of experience. You just have to be able to explain it, right? So I hope we answered the question.
Okay, yeah, I think I even agree with you, because for me too, I think I came in with 3 years plus NYSC, and quantifiably, I can only speak very well of about 1 year plus in GT Bank. So just like you said, it's about what you do and also how you describe what you do.
Yeah.
So I think with 3 years, she's very, very good to go.
Yeah, good. Yeah. We have Victor. My name is Victor. I'm a financial analyst in a bank. I was introduced to the webinar by one of the guests. I want to ask when it is advisable to take the GRE exams, because I'm yet to. Good news, will you help us take that?
Yeah, I've responded to him in the chat. My advice to him, it depends on when he wants to apply for an MBA. And I think now is the right time to take the exam. Once he feels comfortable, and once he has taken several mock tests and seen that he have at least come up to the average score, he have taken several mock tests and see that his score is high enough. So now is just the right time to take it, but it's contingent on how prepared he is to take the exam.
Yeah, which is very, very, very correct. So it's how prepared you are. And if you watch the last webinar that we hosted, which was on navigating the MBA admissions process, we spoke about the entire process. We spoke about what the requirements are, what you need to have. And this is where we spoke about like your recommendation letters, your test scores, and also the admission deadlines. So the admission deadlines, you have first round, second round, third round, right? So thinking about the deadlines that you want to apply in, if you're applying in your second round deadlines, depending on the schools, they're like January, first week of January. If you're applying in first week of January, it takes about 8 days for your test score to be officially released to you. I mean, you would see your test score like on the screen when you take the test at the test center, but it takes about 8 days for them to send you the PDF version, for you to be able to download the PDF version from the website. So if you have like an application due January 4th, you have to be considerate of all of the holidays that we have, and then kind of backdate and say, well, 8 days. 8 days might be cutting it close, because sometimes some people have to retake the test. I had to retake the test, right? So some people have to retake the test. So it's more of, oh, well, what if I have to retake the test? So if you're planning to apply in second round, I believe most people, if you haven't started the process at all, I would say first round is already I would say it's impossible, but most of the schools, their first round deadlines are already now and middle of October. So if you have not taken your test, if you haven't started anything, I would say maybe pushing it out to second round. But even if you're pushing it out to second round, now is the time for you to take the exam. I would always say taking it end of October, November-ish, gives you good enough time for you to say you want to retake, because you need 3 weeks. You can't retake like back to back, right? You're going to retake in 3 weeks. So you need to at least have 3 weeks in between you taking the tests, right? So it's not that, oh, January 4th is when I'm going to be submitting my application, and then you take it January 3rd. And then something else is you need to be taking mock tests. Some people, the first time they've had like a full test was on the test day. What do you expect to get from that, right? The good thing is, from the mock test that you take, your results from your mock tests mirror what you would get in the real test. So you know what you're going to get. There are no surprises. Victor, I hope that answered your question. Well, we have Catherine. Hi, my name is Catherine. I'm a teacher. I have not had any financial experience, and I've not held any leadership position, but I want an MBA because I want a complete change of job, and I did not study a finance-related course. Can I say apply? Joke, do you want to take that?
Okay. Yes, Catherine, you can actually apply for the MBA. I know someone who studied geography and remote sensing and applied for the MBA and got into the program. So the MBA is not necessarily a function of you being a financial analyst or being in the financial sector. No. In fact, the MBA is actually supposed to prepare you for a more professional role, right? So it's not a function of what you are doing right now. So the reason why you want to go for an MBA is because you want to broaden your sphere. You want to, go further. So it's actually a good one right now. If you're considering, doing your MBA, pursuing your MBA, it's a good one. So you're in a good spot. You don't need any financial experience.
Yeah. Thank you, Joke. To add to that, Catherine, yes, you're a teacher, but being a teacher is really amazing. I had teachers in my MBA class. In fact, one of my classmates, he's American, but he was a teacher, I think a high school teacher. That's who he was. And he had maybe 3 years of experience. He worked for a company in Columbus, Ohio, and then he's at Amazon right now in program management. Literally, he's at Amazon right now, and he's here in Seattle. So it's not necessarily about your background. In fact, if you watched, I don't know if you watched the last webinar, Navigating the MBA Admissions Process, I spoke about the diversity of mind, experience, culture, and job roles and backgrounds that you get in the MBA program. Yes, you must have heard that, oh, Joke worked in banking, Good News worked in banking, but you don't even know like half of their profile. Joke is a chef also. Good News is a biochemist, or he does something in that line, like laboratory analysis. They have very diverse experiences, right? So it's not just what you think they do, which is their day jobs. So in the MBA program, you have people that are nurses, doctors, veterinary doctors, engineers. In fact, people that have never actually really worked on technical Excel sheets. Like people in my class struggled a lot with accounting. And for me, I felt like, oh, accounting was so easy, but people never done accounting before, right? HR specialists. So it's also about how you tell your story, because the MBA programs, they want to know, why are you coming for an MBA and why now, right? For that, a lot of the questions that they ask is on why MBA and why now. So why are you coming for an MBA? Yes, you're a teacher, but why are you coming for an MBA? And then you said something, and you say you've not held any leadership positions. But I think that's not true. First of all, you're a teacher, so you lead students. That is it, first of all. And the way we see leadership positions, we always think that you have to be like a senior manager of something, or you have to be a leader of something. First of all, you lead yourself. That's one thing. And when you think about leadership positions, when have you taken initiatives? When have you driven something that a lot of people have thought that, well, maybe this is not possible? I mean, you actually drove it to fruition. So that's leadership position. So don't look at it from, well, you have to be the head of something, like official head. We all take leadership positions in our own way, and it's how we are able to tell the story, which is what itinerary consulting helps you do anyways. Then we have, I hope that answered your question, Catherine. Then we have Opaoluwa said, kindly clarify if your current job description is relevant when choosing a specialization for your MBA. Do the admissions committee consider it relevant as a show of career progression? Can a salesperson apply for an MBA in data analysis? Okay, so I would like to take this one first before I give it to Good News and Adejoke to add to it. Now, so there is no MBA in data analytics or MBA in finance or MBA in consulting. There is just MBA. Your diploma, which we call certificate, just has the Master of Business Administration. That's what it has. So it's not MBA in anything. Now, in the program, you are able to have concentrations and specifications if you want. In my school, for example, they didn't make the specifications and concentrations compulsory. So I took a little of everything. I did a little of everything around. But there are some schools that would be like, oh, maybe you should have a concentration. But even with that concentration, does not mean all you are doing is data analytics or all you are doing is consulting. No, that's not what it means. It just means that you have taken enough data courses or you have taken enough finance courses that would make it a concentration for you. But that concentration does not appear on your diploma. Your diploma just has MBA. It's a different case if you are taking a dual degree program. So you have an MBA certificate and then you have like a Master's in Business Analytics or Master's in Finance as a dual degree certificate. Those are two totally different things. So there's no MBA in data analysis for that. Then your current job description, is it relevant when you're choosing a specification for your MBA? It depends, yes or no. It depends on what you want. So the story you are trying to tell. Some people they tell a story of reinventing themselves. Some people want to do something totally different. They want to pivot, right? Some people's story is they want to pivot from finance to healthcare, right? And when I mean pivoting from finance to healthcare, does not mean that they want to now be doctors or nurses. No, healthcare is an industry, right? So pivoting to an industry is different from pivoting to your role. Some people also want to pivot their roles. Some people are like, oh, I've done finance and accounting all my life. I want to do product management now. I want to do business analysis now. I want to do data analysis now, right? So you're able to tell your story as to why are you doing this? When you're able to figure out why you are doing this, then that story in your essay kind of matches what you choose for the specification in your application. Now, the specification in your application is not cast in stone. That's why if you see all of those schools, they have like non-decided. It's okay for you to have not decided the specification. And the truth is, most people, the specification that they write in their application is always different from what they do when they get into the program. Me, for example, I mean, I didn't write a specification, but I thought that I would really like operations and supply chain, and I do not. After the first class, I'm like, no, never. I'm not doing this. Like, this is just out of the way for me. So it's always going to be very different, and it always evolves. Now, from what you said, can a salesperson apply for an MBA in data analysis? Like I just said, there's no MBA in data analysis. But as a salesperson, do you want to major in data analysis in the program? Of course. Like, you can take courses in data analysis. And once you graduate from the program, you can even get internships in data analysis, right? It's about telling the story, and that's because the MBA gives you like a broad view of all of the different parts of business. So it's easy for you to say that, yes, I have a background in sales, but I've taken all of these data courses. And even in your background in sales, it's also how you are able to tell the story about what you've done in sales. Sales is not just sales the way we think it is from our country, it's also sales from an analytics perspective. As a sales specialist, you also do some form of analytics. It's how you're able to quantify that. Adejoke, do you want to add to that? Good news, do you want to add to that?
Okay, yes. So let me add to that. The MBA is very broad, right? And then you get the opportunity to, there are elective courses. For one, I studied accounting BSc. I had experience in banking. And then when I was also coming up with my story, I wanted to do something in supply chain. So my story tailored towards supply chain and all of that. But now it's different, I'm tending towards product management. So yes, as a salesperson, you can come into the MBA program and then take elective courses in that light. You also have courses that you do something in data analytics, you do something in strategy, you do something in marketing. So yes, there are opportunities to pick those courses. And then someone just asked a question about the dual degree, because Anu also mentioned something about dual degree. My school, Auburn University, offers that. Now, if you want to specialize, apart from doing your MBA, and you want a master's in maybe supply chain, or you want a master's in finance, yes, you can. You can actually apply, like if you're, now that you're applying for your MBA, you can actually apply for the dual degree, or when you get into the program and you understand how the MBA program is, you can then apply for a dual degree. So it runs concurrently, except that you do like an extra semester. But yes, that's just how it is.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Joke. Yes, for some schools you do an extra semester. For some schools, it's kind of just embedded, right? But it's intense. But yes, dual degree is an option. Good news. Do you have any additional thing to say on that particular question? You're mute. Good news. Where are you? Okay, so
I think his device is having an issue.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, so Okwe also asked, is there an age restriction on scholarships? If so, what age? Joke, do you want to help us take that?
Okay, so I won't say there is an age restriction, but obviously they would not want to sponsor someone very advanced in age. So it's not like you go on their website and then you see a particular age restriction. I'm in my 30s and I got a scholarship, right? So, but you don't want to be well advanced in age and apply for your MBA thinking you will get a scholarship. You may not. It's a 50-50 thing because they don't put it on the website that yes. So it all depends on the quality of your application. And years of experience would also come to play here. So many things, your story, your statement of purpose, your GPA. If they have to consider someone well advanced in age, all of this would be considered.
Yeah, very, very good. So very good, Joke. So the answer is the age restriction. Is there age restriction on scholarship? No, there's no age restriction, right? No school puts any age restrictions, right? And if you watched if you were attended the last webinar, you can go check it out on our YouTube page. We spoke about the different parts of your application. And we spoke about if you have a deficiency in one part of your application, for example, maybe your age is significantly above the current MBA class range, or your GPA is low, how do you make up for it in the other parts of your application? How do you tell your story? How are you able to explain that, oh, this is the reason why I'm doing an MBA now? Yes, I'm 37 years old, I'm 39 years old, this is the reason why I'm doing an MBA now. There are clients that are 40 and have gotten good scholarships. So it's not impossible. It's about how you're able to tell your story and the other parts of your application. So it's not, don't look at it like, oh, they take like an age and then they say, oh, everybody above this age, you're off. Everybody below this age, you're in. No, it's not. It doesn't work like that. And on the scholarships bit, the scholarship application is part of your MBA application, right? I get this question a lot. How do I apply for scholarships? It's together with, like, it's together, right? So it's when they give you your admission, that's when you know if you have like a scholarship or not. Yes, there are some schools that have specific scholarship essays, but those essays are mostly part of your application. So it's when you submit your application and then they evaluate it. So it's not more of the age restriction of the scholarships. If you're not going to get into the school, because if they're going to consider age, it's going to be like, oh, how do you even get into the school at all? Are you going to get into the school at all based off of your profile, right? Not necessarily, oh, they're giving somebody that is 25 years of scholarship and then they're not giving you. It's not that way. So it's a holistic thing. Then Victor, thank you for your answer. I would like to ask if HND holders can actually apply. Yes, HND holders can apply for anything. I know this has been buzzing all around social media, and I always used to wonder why Nigerians always thought that HND holders could not apply to things. When I was working at PwC, people always asked, oh, can I apply? HND holders have been able to apply to PwC from the start of time. People just don't apply because they just think they're not good enough or they don't meet the requirements, right? And the only thing you can do is ask and apply. Of course, you can apply. Because it's like you have an associate's degree and then you also have like an advanced degree. That's 5 years, right? Something that you can do that can make it better is for most of the MBA programs, they don't really care about WES evaluation and stuff like that. Most MBA programs don't. I mean, a few of them do. I know John Hopkins cares about the WES evaluation. You could do a WES evaluation and then you can just submit your transcript the way it is. It's an equivalent to BSc. So definitely you can apply. Then yeah, that's the same question. Okay, that's the same question. Then good news is device is terrible. Don't worry, good news, I got you. Catherine asked us to shed more light on the dual degree program. I think good news and Adejoke already did that. So Catherine said, do I need to get an admission first before beginning to apply for scholarships? Yeah, which is what I just said right now. The application is together, right? You're not getting admission first before applying for scholarships. Once you get your admission, you know if you get a scholarship or not. You know the amount of scholarship you get. Now, after that, you can now negotiate for more scholarships and more funding. Kinsey, yes, I see you raised your hand. We'll get to you. You cannot apply for more scholarships and more funding. That's fine. But everything is together, right? Priscilla, can a high GRE score guarantee a scholarship? No. Nothing is guaranteed. I always tell people are like, oh, I know, I want to get started out consulting. Can you guarantee me? No, I can't guarantee you anything. Nothing in life is guaranteed. Everything in life is a probability, including getting into the MBA program, and which is not what a lot of people like to hear. They're like, oh, I can't guarantee you anything. I can say, yes, most people that have used our services have been successful, but I can't guarantee you anything. Look at it like I would say pyramid. But look at life this way. Everything is a probability. There are no guarantees. However, there are ways that you can push your probability higher, right? Based off of the strength of your application or based off of how you're doing something. So if you're applying to a job, is there a guarantee you will get the job? No. But what are the things that you can do to increase your probability of getting it? Having a good resume, interviewing really well, applying on time. Those are the things that increase your probability. And yes, most people that have been able to increase their probability in that manner have gotten it. Doesn't mean it's a guarantee. So there is no guarantee. If you're looking for a guarantee, then I don't think that you're in the right place, because you're going to be misled by people that will tell you something is guaranteed, and I don't do that, right? So like I said, the entire profile, and which I would always say, go and watch the Navigating the MBA Admissions webinar there's live on our YouTube channel right now. You have a whole lot of things: resume, your work experience, your years of experience, your undergraduate GPA, your professional qualifications, your essays, your letter of recommendation, how you network, right? Your admissions interview, the class profile of the school itself. When you apply, there are a whole lot of things, right? The story you are trying to tell. right? There are a whole lot of probabilities that you have to move towards, drive the probability up. So yes, if you don't have like a very good undergraduate GPA and you have a good GRE score, you're able to explain it. But also you have to be very careful, right? Some people just think, I'm not like saying anything, right? But some people just think, oh, fabricating a GRE score, I don't know, like just get like some high GRE score out of nowhere. And then they're not able to, that GRE score does not match your undergraduate. Yes, I understand that sometimes people play during undergraduate, like, which is good. But what about your work experience? What have you done? What things have you done to show that, yes, I didn't really do well in undergrad because I wasn't serious, but I actually, like, my capabilities actually match this test score that I have. So it's not just about bringing one test score and then your work experience and everything is just out of the place. It's going to be an outlier, and it's not going to match. Because at the end of the day, our life is in stages, is a journey. You're trying to tell a story. So if there's anything that doesn't match, you must be able to explain it. But if everything is just like out there and it doesn't match, then there's a problem. So no, it doesn't guarantee a scholarship. Graduate assistantships, just like I said, scholarships, graduate assistantships, especially in the MBA program, they are like, the only difference is for graduate assistantship, they give you a scholarship and they expect you to work, right? But for some scholarships, they don't come with graduate assistantships. Some scholarships are just take your scholarship, you don't have to do anything. But most of the scholarships come with graduate assistantships. You don't have to apply again, right? If you would get a graduate assistantship at the beginning of the MBA, they will tell you. However, you can apply in school. So there are jobs that you can apply, like on-campus jobs. You can work with professors. That's totally different. But like when you see people go graduate assistantships, they give them as part of their admissions package. Jeffrey just asked, please clarify which is better, to do a dual degree with an MBA or to do an MSc and then go on to do a separate MBA? So that's a different question, right? So Jeffrey already answered that question. Jeffrey said, Jojo already answered, right? Yeah, you can do it together. Now, there's something about doing an MSc and going on to do a separate MBA, which we might have to take off this call. So we have work authorization, we have OPT, we have CPT. Masters and MBA they are under the master's category. If you do a master's and you already use your OPT for the master's, or you already worked under the master's and you go an MBA, you won't have OPT for that. So you have to go back home. So it's a different ball game. If you have specific questions, please just email us on that one, because we'll take all of the time trying to explain that. Catherine, when someone gets a partial scholarship, how can you push? Yes, once you get that, there are things that you can do. You can write a letter to the school. Some people take their test scores, they take their test again to get a higher test score. Some people just, I don't know, they kind of explain based off of, oh, I think I need more money, and then they're able to push for their scholarships, right? So you can petition. I mean, not like petition like a lawyer. I use the word petition because that's what a friend of mine used yesterday. But you can ask. You can always ask. There are people that have increased their scholarship from 30% to 100, from 80 to 100. I know they increased Good News scholarship from, I think, 75% to 100. Just if you ask, right? But as you said, it's not guaranteed. It's a probability. When you are asking, what do you do to make sure that your probability is higher? Now we have answered all of the questions. Yay! I know there was a Kingsley that raised his hand. I don't know if you're still available to ask a question. You could have just put it in the chat box anyways, but please ask a question. What questions do you have?
Thank you so much, Anu. I would like to say thank you to you guys. I just joined, so I don't think I have a lot background. But my friend told me about Titan. That you guys were instrumental to our MBA program. I mean, she's currently doing an MBA program, right? So I just joined based off on her recommendation, and I got here, right? So the thing is, I'm looking to do my MBA next year, with about 3 years from the Big Four.
Okay. But
then I'm still, and I'm trying to go on at the top 10 schools from US and 2 from the UK.
Okay.
Right, but for every day, I feel like this is so much. Like if I'm going to get it, like the chances and all of that. And I see a lot of articles online on GMAT score that you have to like hit to get that. And I don't know, I just feel, first off, is 3 years enough? Is it enough to get into a top business school? I heard some things you said, and they were really, they answered some sort of questions about the story and how you're able to like package up your essays to meet up with something. So in school, while in school, my undergrad actually, so I started off well with the first class, but I didn't finish with the first class. And I can actually explain this. So I did a professional course with it alongside, and I aimed to get that while in school, and I got it. So that was really, really a major, will I say, explanation that I can give why I did not probably hit my target. And I just feel sort of overwhelmed when I look at profile of people who are getting to some of the schools that I intend to go. And I just keep asking myself, can I make this? Can I do this? How can I do this? And I've not applied till now. I'm still prepping for GMAT.
Okay.
I'm like, what are my chances if I apply like December, January? Because I intend to like sit for GMAT like December, and finish up application by January. I don't know what are my chances and stuff like that.
Okay,
What can you say?
very intense question that you have asked, and I think it's going to do a lot of us good on the call. So 3 years is perfect, right? We already spoke about this before you joined the call. By the time you'll be resuming in July next year or June, July next year, you have 4 years. So that's good. You're already very good. And you said you had 3 years in the Big Four. I'm sure you might not even have added your NYSC. So I think you're perfect based off of the years of experience that you have. Now, I know you are like, I think, well, I don't know, but it feels like you studied accounting. You're trying to take your ICANN exams while you were in school. You got your ICANN certification, but you did.
I studied economics. Sorry, I studied economics. I studied something else than I did ICANN in school.
Okay, all right. So, yeah, and then you got your ICANN certification. And I think that's perfect, right? You don't need to have a first class. I did not have a first class and I got a full ride. I didn't have a first class and I got a full ride. Jockey and Good News did not have a first class. And yes, they had 2-1s. I had a 2-1. I had a good, like, I had a very good GPA. However, there are clients that I know that did not have very good GPAs, but they had good work experience and they were able to tell their stories. So I'm sure your GPA was pretty good. So that's fine. You don't need to have a first class to get into your Harvard or Yale. And you have a very, very good profile. In fact, the top 10 schools that you're talking about want people that only have 3-4 years of experience in the most part, right? So that's good for you. Do you get? So that's perfect. Now you've asked a whole lot of questions, and I think for you, I think it makes sense for you to send us an email, and then we can do like a one-on-one consultation for you. First, go watch our YouTube channel about our admissions coaching services, like what the admissions services covers, and then also watch the YouTube about how to navigate the MBA admissions process. Is already on YouTube. The session that we had 2 weeks ago, it would give you all of the clarity that you need on this. But I would say that I think you are doing good and okay. Now, the only thing that I might just say is you taking your test in December, depending on how prepared you are, might be cutting it close, because for those top 10 schools that you have said, their deadlines are first week of December. Those are their deadlines. First week of January, rather. January 4th, 5th, 6th, some are even 2nd and 3rd. So it's very, 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 very early. So you're not concluding your application in January. You are concluding it in December, right? To put it, like, maybe put it in even in that December. So if you're thinking about actually submitting for second round, now is when you start your coaching. That's if you want to use Titan Consulting. You don't have to, but now is when you start your coaching if you want to. Start your own process on your own if you want, because it looks like it's 3.5 months, but it's really, really very, 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 very short time frame. So now is when you would start. But watch all of those videos on YouTube and send us an email, and then we can take you through how that should work. We have 7 more minutes to the top of the hour, so I would go ahead and answer all of the questions here. So please, in the US, are the scholarships all fully funded? Like I said, Victor, there are no guarantees anywhere. No, all of the scholarships are not fully funded. In fact, most of the MBA programs, you pay for it. You pay for most of the MBA programs. The MBA programs are very expensive. Scholarships can range from $1,000 to full scholarship, right? And schools give that range. So it depends on your profile, it depends on the amount of scholarship that the school has available. So it's not like I say, oh, you get the scholarship and it's full. No, you can get 20K scholarships. From some of I got a full ride to Ohio State, but the other admissions that I got 50%, I got 25%. Like, you can get scholarships across different categories. It doesn't have to be, it's not just one. Do you understand? So it's not like, oh, it's a full scholarship and stuff. No, it's not. So are there clauses to get a fully funded scholarship? Like I said, there are no clauses. They're not saying it has to be minimum of this. It is your entire application that they are looking at. The entire application is what they are looking at. And I think if you watch the MBA, navigating the MBA admissions webinar, you will get more clarity. Then did my 1 year NYC as a teacher, you did your 1 year, the 1 year as a customer experience officer. You want to do your MBA next anytime. You can't do your MBA anytime next year. The MBA program starts in the fall for most of the schools. Fall is July, August, September for most of the schools. That's when your MBA starts, basically, right? So if you want to get into your program July, August, September, you need to apply now, round 1, round 2. And I think you haven't watched the video at all. So I think you should actually watch it and come back, right? Right, then you would know what you need and everything that you need to do. Then, hey, may talk about GRE waiver because some schools say GRE not required but recommended, or their websites say talk about GRE waiver. Yeah. So GRE waivers are some schools are able to give GRE GMAT waivers, and it's also based off of the strength of your application and also the profile of the class. Some schools want you to take the GRE. Some schools waive the GRE, right? But it doesn't guarantee they would admit you, right? They will just say, oh yeah, the GRE has been waived. But by the time they are assessing you based off of the other people that have profiles in their school, they're like, no, you don't match up. So it totally depends. There are people that I know that have gotten GRE waivers and they've gotten full scholarships, right? The people that have taken GRE, they've gotten full scholarships. So it's based off of your profile and the profile of the school we're trying to apply to, right? What do they want? Do you match what they want? See, it's not about as high acceptance rate for international students. This is not like undergrad-ish. It's basically based off of your profile, right? So what you can do is when you check the class profile of the school, you would see how many percentage of international students do they have. They have 30%, 45%, 10%. Then you know, right? So if they have like maybe 30% international students and you know that, well, that's what they had last year, and 10 people that I know that international students already applied, and they're probably just 40 in their class or 15 in their class. That's like, oh, maybe they take me. So those are the kind of things that you would kind of check out for. But if you want like a one-on-one session with us, just email us and we'll be happy to get on a call with you. Then Abisade said, how many one-on-one virtual sessions would you recommend? Now, this is really very interesting, right? Very good questions. For the one-on-one sessions, I would recommend to do as many as you can, and not just with one person, right? So there are different members of the admissions committee. So you can have different virtual sessions, one-on-one sessions with different members of the admissions committee and also with current students. The good thing about it is you get insights from those students and the admissions committee that you include in your essays and include in the things that you write, right? So those are the things that you do. Do you get? Those are the things that you do. Then even after you have submitted your application, you should also still have sessions, because America, especially if you're coming to the US or not America, or even the top MBA programs, even in Europe, they're big on networking, they're big on interest, they're big on passion. So how do you show passion? You've submitted your application, but you are still attending their webinars, you are still talking to them. That shows that you are super, super interested. So I don't think it's something that should stop. But I just don't think that you should just go there and just ask like random questions that you can find on the internet. No, like I think it should be graduated questions. Like they should want to talk to you. They should want to talk to you all of the time, right? So thank you so much, Joke, and good news. I will go to the other part of the webinar, which is all of this is what we just spoke about, the entire MBA process. Now we have our upcoming webinars. I know a whole lot of you are thinking through writing your essays. So if you're thinking about how to blend your personal and professional experiences to write great essays, October 2nd. If you want to learn about the Masters in Business Analytics, October 16th. If you want to think about the ideal scholarship hack, increasing your probabilities for a scholarship, October 30th. And if you're thinking about acing your MBA admissions interview, be with us November 13th. Now, I would like you all, if you want to reach out to us, because some of you are like, oh, I know, give me your WhatsApp. Well, we have an official WhatsApp line. So this is our official WhatsApp line. Olamigoke, if you could copy this and put it in the chat box so that people can just speak from it, that would be nice. This is our official WhatsApp line. This is our website. Please follow us on Instagram, on LinkedIn, and on Twitter. We have very great things that we post there that are very educative. Go to our website. It's still in the works, but you can go ahead and just check out what we have there. Email us if you have any questions. And then there's something that I have to share with you. So Titanal Consulting is launching its first admissions coaching course. So I know that I've had a conversation with a few people and they're like, oh, I can afford a one-on-one conversation. That's totally fine. So we have a do-it-yourself admissions coaching course that will be live very, very soon, especially for people that are applying in the second round and in the third round. So you can get all of the things about Titanal Consulting at your fingertips using your phone, your computer, self-paced on your own at a very affordable price. It's actually, well, for you on this call, if you're interested in it, you're going to be getting a discounted price of $150. Just let me know if that's what you are interested in. You will get more details. You will be given more information about the course in due time. And it doesn't have any one-on-one interaction. It's just you doing self-paced stuff. But if you want to have a brainstorming session with us, you would have to pay like extra for that. But the admission course has everything that you need to know, apart from having to brainstorm with us and talk to a member of the Titanal Consulting team, which you can for an additional price. So thank you so much. It was great having you all with us today. Please send us a WhatsApp message, email anu@titanalconsulting.com. I hope to hear from you all soon, and you can connect with me. It's Tomilola Abiodun on LinkedIn. Please add a message so I know who is connecting with me. I'll be on the call for the next 2-3 minutes just to answer a few more questions or just whatever questions that you have. So I will be stopping the recording right now. It will be posted on YouTube. So watch out for your YouTube, for the YouTube link from Monday. And follow us on YouTube. Also subscribe to our YouTube channel so you get access to all of our new videos that come up, even apart from the ones that we have on the webinar. Thank you so much, Joke. Thank you so much, Good News. And thank you so much, everybody. Have a great rest of the week.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.